Hello everybody and welcome to citycabinets.com. My name is Chad Barker. Today I'm going to show you what makes City Cabinets one of the best budget yet very high-end cabinets available for the ready-to-assemble cabinet market today. As you might already know, we offer multiple lines of cabinets. If you've probably seen us at barkerdoor.com, barkercabinets.com for a very high-end, all-American plywood, all-American sourced cabinet. We have barkermodern.com, that's Barker Modern. That's going to be essentially the same thing, American sourced plywood, European sourced door and drawer fronts, and then you're also going to have the European style laminates on the faces. They're all slab and nice and contemporary. That's why we call it our modern line. Our newest line is going to be called City Cabinets. So we sell that at citycabinets.com, and that's what we're here today to discuss. We're going to discuss the differences between the lines, but we're also going to understand what makes City Cabinets so special in today's market. So let's get started. Let's take a look at the actual cabinet here. Now you might be familiar already with our other lines, like I said, barkercabinets.com. And the nice thing about Barker Cabinets and this cabinet, they look pretty much the same thing. I mean, if you look at it from the outside, the doors are the same, the plywood looks the same, it's not. The hinges are about the same, and the drawer slides are about the same as well. So let's break it into it. As far as the actual plywood's concerned, again, if you watch our other video, looks very similar. But the plywood in this, and while it looks like the maple veneer plywood that we get from the United States and is sourced from the United States, this is actually a birch veneer over an 11-ply core. So this is an imported plywood. Typically, import plywoods that we get currently is coming in out of Vietnam. And this is not just some run-of-the-mill, boring plywood that you'd get from that cheap, very lightweight stuff. So this plywood's actually relatively heavy. I know you can't see how heavy this is, but compared to, say, Baltic birch plywood, if you've ever seen that, like a 5/8 or even a 3/4 inch thick Baltic birch plywood, it's pretty heavy. I mean, it's solid, like to the point where it's like heavier than the actual wood because of how much glue they use. So what we have here is an 11-ply, so they're going acacia and then poplar core. And the nice thing about that is the core is going to be so dense and so heavy, it holds the screw really well, but it also has a little bit of give to it so that you can actually maneuver the screws and then reposition your parts. So like essentially if you need to line everything up, you can tap them a little bit to get them all perfect, for perfect alignment. But again, we're about maybe 10-20% lighter than a Baltic birch plywood. But this plywood, compared to our American-made and American-sourced stuff that we sell in Barker Cabinets, is probably about 30% heavier. Now I'm not saying heavier is better. A lot of the times if you're installing cabinets like I have on past projects, it's not really that much fun grabbing a cabinet that weighs, say, 100 pounds, trying to shove it up onto the wall, without building some sort of a stretcher going across the wall or a ledger board, essentially, so that you can actually attach it. It is heavy work, and it really is a workout, okay? The heaviness of the plywood really makes the cabinet feel substantial, in my opinion, and I do like that. But they're both substantial. Barker Cabinets, again, American plywood, but that's a 7-ply. Doesn't have as much glue into it. And that's going to be using fir, and then it's an MPX core. So our Barker Cabinets line uses a poplar crossband just below the veneer. That's so that there's no voids and whatnot. It's a higher end crossband. And then it has a fir core, and then again, another poplar crossband, and then the maple veneer, which is thicker than this, and we'll talk about it in 1 second. But that maple veneer, and then it's got a UV baked on clear coat finish. Okay? Same thing here. The face veneer here is a birch. So it's birch with a baked on clear finish. They're both extremely durable. They hold up very well for good chemical resistance. And they're both very scratch resistant. But the veneer on this one, so this is an imported plywood, it's going to be slightly thinner than that of what you'd see at barkercabinets.com. Just slightly. Again, the finish is extremely hard. You're not going to be able to scratch it unless you really get a key or a knife in there. It's not going to rub off over time. We've tested these extensively, and I've used them on my own projects, and I do like both. I like the Barker Cabinets line as far as how high-end that plywood is, the look of the veneer, the look of the maple. But this one, again, if somebody told me, hey, what's going on, which one's which? It's hard for me to tell unless I actually look at the veneer and see that that is a birch veneer with a clear coat finish on it. They both look exactly the same. That yellowish sort of finish, hides scratch as well, easy to clean. Both kind of stand up the same amount of weight. Okay? Moving on, hinges. Between Barker Cabinets and City Cabinets, same exact hinge. It's the 2-piece clip top Blue Motion hinge. We've been using these for about 15 years now. They have the integrated soft close in there. They have a little switch on there where you can flip it over, and that will disable the soft close so you can slam the doors as much as you want. This one's engaged. Let's disengage it. I don't know why somebody would want to do that. I think if they do, the idea is that, hey, you know, we want to be able to do it. So you can hear it kind of click there. Now watch, it'll slam. To re-engage it, you just take it and you flip it back off without breaking my fingernail, and then back to soft close. Cool. As far as the doors and drawer fronts are concerned, let's take a look. Doors and drawer fronts, this is a Sapele with a tamarack finish on it. You can buy the exact same door on City Cabinets, and you can buy the exact same door on barkercabinets.com, okay? Same exact door, same construction. We built them out of the same material. Even the guys building the cabinets, or the cabinet doors, have no idea if they're building a door for Barker Cabinets or City Cabinets. There's virtually identical doors. Granted, you know, wood's gonna be different from one door to another. So, you know, even this wood, probably not from the same tree as that material. But again, you can see the quality of the grain. You can see the quality of the construction, the sanding, and everything else like that. So, as far as that's concerned, that's the construction of the door. Now, let's talk about the finish of the door. And this is 2025 here, people. It's February 21st of 2025. And this finish, Barker Cabinets, is gonna have a slightly different style of finish. And that just means the formula is different. Doesn't mean the quality is any different, but it's the formula. Barker Cabinets is gonna have a conversion varnish-based finish. Conversion varnish base is a solvent-based, high solids, essentially it's a 2K finish. So they have to mix two parts together. It has a hardener, and then it becomes very scratch resistant. It's not baked on, it can be done at room temperature, but you do have to have a spray booth for Barker Cabinets style finishes. Okay, City Cabinets uses a brand new line. I'm talking, we just entered this line earlier this year. It's brand new. We will have videos up on it. It's a flat line finish, water-based, and it's a baked-on waterborne finish. That is the next level of where finishes are going. It's a little bit less expensive because it's done on a flat line finish, but the quality is exactly the same. The hardness that I've seen, it looks like it's actually might be harder than the conversion varnish. And moving forward, that's kind of where the market's going. The conversion varnish is basically that it's got that alcohol smell to it, so you can't spray it at home or even on site because it would just, I mean, it's literally like when you're spraying it, you can smell it. You know, it's got that sort of that alcohol-based finish. You can just kind of, you can smell it in the air. I can smell it when people around this block are smelling, are spraying it because it vents outside. You can just, it's just environmentally. So Oregon, California, they're all kind of moving toward not doing conversion varnish-based finishes in the future. So we'll see what happens there. We're currently using on the City line, we're gonna be using that baked on waterborne finish. The finish quality is smooth, hard. You can't take the finish off with a key. You can't scratch it with your thumbnail. That's the point. Chemical resistance, about the same as conversion varnish. Again, City, baked on, waterborne. Barker Cabinets, it's the tried and true conversion varnish, which is a 2K finish. And again, from our tests, they're about the same. So, as far as colors are concerned, they're gonna look exactly the same. You wouldn't be able to tell. Even I can't tell. I'd have to have somebody tell me which door is which. So you see a pure white door, for example. Let's grab one of these. Pure white door. This one right here is the one that's done on our waterborne finish line with City Cabinets. Again, it's a flat line finish, goes straight through, perfectly smooth because it gets sprayed the exact same way on every single door. Everything's just beautiful on it. You can't scratch the finish off. It's just not possible. It's just one of those things where, you know, the door is completely sealed. There's no way for water to get in there, I guess, unless it got through the panel somehow, where the seam is right here. So again, that's our point here, is just trying to offer that finish that's really high end, smooth, and will last a very long time. Okay, moving on. Drawer boxes. Let's take a look at drawer boxes. As you see here, this is a rubber wood drawer box. And compared to Barker Cabinets, this rubber wood comes into us pre-finished. So essentially, it comes to us in very long lengths. We cut them to length, and then we assemble it. So this is a UV baked on finish, very durable, very hard. The one thing that that's gonna be the difference between Barker Cabinets and City Cabinets is the fact that Barker Cabinets uses a Baltic birch plywood with a finish that's been applied after the drawer box has been assembled and after it's been sanded. So you're gonna have, on Barker cabinets, you're gonna have very nice and smooth joints right here. It's gonna look like one single piece, like a little piece of art, okay? City cabinets is sprayed before, so that saves us a little bit of labor, and that's carried on with the cost savings. And the idea there is that we assemble it, but then you have a raw edge right there. Now that raw edge is still smooth, it's just not gonna be as smooth as Barker cabinets. So if you're going over here and you're taking the drawer box, you know, and you're over here and you're feeling your drawer boxes every day. I don't typically do that, you know. I look at some sexy drawer box and I'm over here and I'm like touching it, you know. But it depends on what you want to do. The drawer box for Barker cabinets, being a Baltic birch plywood that's sanded, then sprayed, that's going to take quite a bit more labor. It's going to take quite a bit more finish, and the finish that you're putting onto that drawer box is not going to be as thick and durable as a baked-on UV clear coat, as you see here. That's a very durable finish. Okay, so that's just kind of what we're looking at. That was the idea was, hey, let's get a more durable finish on the drawer box. Those are the only ones you have that come in stock with the pre-finished blanks that we cut into. The one downside about the drawer box is that you have those raw edges where the dovetails are. Now let's talk about the rubber wood itself. So I'm gonna keep pulling this thing out. Say it in the comments how many times. It was the third time I've pulled it out. So the idea here is the rubber wood is processed in Malaysia. The rubber wood is an eco-friendly material, and it's one of my favorites because since it's eco-friendly, essentially they use that tree, they use the bark of the rubber wood tree for rubber, you know, essentially tires and whatnot. And when the tree gets too old, say 30 years, it becomes old growth and the bark is no longer viable. So what they do is they have to cut them down. They used to just burn them. So in this case, they cut them down, they process the lumber, and then they process, you know, those drawer blanks in countries like Malaysia and Vietnam. And then they process it with another finish, and they put the route and the notch, which is what we've asked them to do, and then they send it over to us, and we get a very inexpensive, eco-friendly, and environmentally friendly drawer box material that we can cut into and make into a really nice drawer box. Just the machining alone aspect of it, it machines so cleanly. I mean, there's no tear out. It's just beautiful. It goes all together. It's easy to assemble. It doesn't chip, it doesn't break. You know, the ends of the back don't break off, essentially where the little notch is in the back. And yeah, it's just a great drawer box overall. So, talking about now the drawer slides. Fourth time I pulled it out. Okay, drawer slides. City Cabinets has Blum Blue Motion drawer boxes, or drawer slides. Okay, that's gonna be the Tandem Plus Blue Motion. Okay, now there's a difference between this and what Barker Cabinets offers, and I'll talk about that in 1 second. But these ones are soft closing and self-closing. So essentially when you put them on, as you've seen, they come out very easy. They click back in. They're very easy to install. You just have to screw the slides into the cabinet case. You got to attach the locking devices, which is these orange things, underneath. And then you just attach them together. Pretty cool. Those drawer slides are made in North Carolina by Bloom. So Bloom Tandem plus Blue Motion, made in North Carolina. Excellent drawer slides. They've been around forever. Now, if you're going with the Barker cabinets and you're saying, hey, I want to just make it the most high-end cabinet I've ever seen, right? This is my dream kitchen. I'm going Barker cabinets. It's about, typically, those cabinets are going to be about 30% more expensive. But some of that cost is what you're seeing is the fact that on the Barker cabinet line, we're using Bloom Movento drawer slides, okay? These guys are 100-pound capacities. This is the Tandem Plus Blue Motion. It's a 100-pound capacity. Compared to the Bloom Moventos. Bloom Moventos are 125-pound capacity. They are heavier duty. They also have more options for down the road if you decide to, say, put a tip-on unit on it. So the Moventos, I don't have it set here with me, but there is pieces you can add on to the drawer slide where it allows you to basically take the drawer slide, push it, and then it pops right out. So that's kind of cool if you're saying, hey, you know what, I never want to use handles. I'm a minimalist. You know, I mean, you know, it's a frame and panel door. You probably want to put some hardware on it so you can open it easily, right? But you have the tip-on bracket. You also have the one where it's got a linkage. So essentially there's like a little fiberglass like rail piece, and that goes between the two drawer slides so that they actually operate exactly the same. So you can do the tip-on, and then it pops out, and then it shuts, and it doesn't rack. So if you have very wide drawer boxes on Barker cabinets, you can actually link the two drawer boxes together so that the gears will only allow each drawer box or each drawer slide to slide out at the exact same time. And that's good for when you get into longer and wider drawer boxes, such as the 42s, or say even 48-inch wide drawer boxes, and especially when you get to them where they're not real deep. they're shallow, but they're really wide, they'll start racking a lot. And we've seen issues with that in the past, and Movento's really gone a long way to solve that. Okay, so we talked about the plywood, we've talked about the doors, we talked about the finish, we've talked about the hinges. And that's pretty much it. So as far as those things are concerned, now the two lines as far as ordering are pretty similar. You just have to go online to barkercabinets.com or citycabinets.com. In this case, it's City Cabinets. We have the exact same product codes, so you can actually plug and play and just build your kitchen in your online shopping cart and see what that price is going to be compared between the two lines. So again, we have the high-end line for Barker Cabinets. We have the low-end, not the low-end, but the budget-focused, tastefully, you know, we take some tasteful considerations and we take them out to the point where we still have that high-end feel. You can't tell a difference between the stuff on the outside, but when you start looking at the interior stuff like, you know, the drawer slides, the drawer boxes, you know, you start feeling that sexy drawer box on the side, you know, that's Barker Cabinets. If you're looking at, hey, I want the same durability, I want the same longevity, but I don't want to pay 30% more, it's City Cabinets because it looks exactly the same. Okay, I've done that multiple times in the past. I've done it for smaller bathrooms and other areas I've gone through and essentially just taken this stuff and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put this in my ancillary areas. And on Barker Cabinets, I use that for my kitchen. Put some white oak drawer boxes into it. City Cabinets does not have the option to change some of the materials, like for the drawer boxes, for example. This is rubber wood that comes stock. You cannot upgrade from there. It has to be the rubber wood. And that's the idea, is making it more of a budget line that's also express because we're not having to go get extra special stock out of the drawer box area and having to make custom stock in our manufacturing division. So kind of see there. Everything's custom made. All of our sizes are custom width, custom height, custom depth. We have hundreds of different types of cabinet styles to choose from. If you come up with one, you can send it to us in the forums. Go to cabinetforums.com. I'm usually the one that answers those forums, so I can send you 3D pictures. We do not offer full-on comprehensive designs. I have that asked every single day. Here's my kitchen layout that some other cabinet maker did. You know, you guys, I understand, you want to shoot prices around. We don't do that. We don't do the design, okay? You're not paying for the design. There's no design money involved in the cabinet. We're trying to get you the cabinet for as least amount of BS fluff pricing that people add in. They tell you, there's other companies out there that say, hey, look, we're going to give you, it's free design and free quotes. We'll do it all for you right there. Okay, cool, but there's no such thing as free. So if you have a staff of, say, 20 people working on a computer trying to give you some 3-inch increment cabinet, which is really only one way to design the kitchen because it's 3-inch increments, then you're paying that person a living wage, and that cost has to go to somewhere. Okay, so it's not just free. Nobody's doing this. You know, you're not gonna have somebody sitting in an office doing layouts all day for nothing, right? That cost goes into the cabinet. We don't have that cost into our cabinets, so we cannot offer a design. We do not offer quotes via email. You know, some people like that, some people don't, but that's our idea. We're trying to get the cabinet to you for as least amount of money as possible so that all, or almost all of your money is going directly into the cabinet parts, going into the case, going into the drawer slides, going into the doors, going into the finish, going into the professionalism that it takes to run and scan these parts. Everything we do is CNC coded. It's all machined on our CNCs and our in-house. We do it all in-house from start to finish. So, except for making the drawer slides. We don't make the drawer slides or anything like that. But as far as, as far as the machining, cutting, doors, we manufacture all the doors in-house from actual lumber. So, that's kind of what we're going for. As far as finishes are concerned, let's talk a little bit about that before we sign off. We have, like we've shown here, this is a primer-only door. This is brand new, this primer coat, brand new and redone as of February of this year. The nice thing about this is that we have essentially a primer-only door that is got 2 coats of primer, and then it's sanded in between coats. And the nice thing about that is that since we have these primer coats, it makes for the most smooth door you could imagine, okay? Great idea here. If you get these things and you want to get a custom color, say you want to do something like a blue, maybe a cherry red or something like that, you'd order the doors primer only, and then you could take the doors, sand them up, and they're unsanded currently, but to me, I can barely tell this compared to the pure white. And again, that's our new line finish. It's kind of hard for you to see, obviously, but for me, I have to pick it up and I have to actually a little bit feel it. I mean, it's so smooth the way it comes off of this new line finish. And we'll show some other videos of that as well. You know, just with the sanding, it's all automated. The spraying's automated. It comes off, and there's nobody touching it, so you don't get fingerprints and little defects here and there. So it's just a beautiful door. So if you want a custom primer door, custom painted door, order it primer only, and then take it to a local professional, and then have them spray it. Because all you got to do, the doors, take it to like a local professional, have them spray it, but the face of the cabinet case is going to come out in raw wood. You just take it and literally wipe on the paint that you need, and then you're good to go. Or have them come out, and then they can touch up the face of the cabinet for you. It's pretty easy, and it's less expensive than you might think. So pure white, again, waterborne, baked on, pure white finish. Beautiful finish, no defects, just a nice looking finish. So that's just, I mean, it's great. You can also order them in raw wood. So we have all of our materials. They're all available in raw wood. So you got this is an altar with an MDF panel, front and back. Great material if you want to do it. You can also order in any stain grade that you can think of. So walnut, rift white oak, it's really popular right now. Alder, cherry, red oak is still being done. We still see quite a few orders for red oak. So yeah, those are, you know, the sky's the limit. So as I said, with the rift white oak, as you can see right there, nice, easy going. This has got a rift white oak, but it's also got that clear finish on it. So with our clear waterborne finish, it's a natural color. It doesn't have the pigmentations that the conversion varnish does. So it gets a little amber when you put the conversion varnish in. It's not so much that it changes the color. In fact, I can barely tell a difference, but it is slightly noticeable. It just brings out the natural characteristics of the wood, but it also protects that wood from fingerprints and other weird stuff that's going on, okay? Very nice. Again, front and back, all sprayed. You know, it's got a nice satin sheen. That's kind of what we're going for, satin/matte sheen. And we're really trying to just make it look like it's more of, you know, like that real wood, that just more rustic feeling, and just kind of, you know, bring out the wood tones and stuff. So that's pretty much it for city cabinets. If you guys have any questions, feel free to give us a call or email. Email here is info@citycabinets.com. If you're looking for the Barker cabinet line, please visit barkercabinets.com. Email for that is info@barkercabinets.com. My name is Chad Barker, and I thank you a lot for visiting us, and hopefully we'll see an order from you. Order some samples. Again, these are the samples that are available. We also have small wood chip samples that'll show you each one. Relatively inexpensive. You're pretty much just paying for the shipping. Thanks, you guys. Have a great day.